Hey everybody, I have a feeling we're in for a treat. I can't tell because every time I've let my first impressions take me in a direction, I've always found out that what I thought initially was not at all what it was. In my book, The Mosaic, that is right here behind me on the wall, it's a story about a boy who loses his parents 2 years apart on the same day. And the little boy asks the adults, "Where are my parents? Where are my parents?" And the adults tell him they're in a place called heaven. So the boy sets out in search of the place called heaven, but the people he meets are not the traditional people you would think you would meet. They're not the swamis and the rabbis and the ministers and the priests and the aborigines elders and the medicine men and women and the faith healers. He meets a trash man and a road worker, a blind woman and a homeless guy. He meets a waitress and a juice man and a traveler. And he wonders, what in the heck am I meeting these people for? Like, what can they show me about heaven? But he hears a voice within him say, just sit with them and listen to them tell you their stories and see what happens. Adam, in 100% of the cases, what happens is the person he sees after sitting with them for a few minutes and listening to their story is an entirely different person than he thought he was coming up to see when he saw him from outside. And when he realized that he doesn't see the world at all the way it is, he sees the world the way he is. He wondered what would happen if he got himself out of the way and could see the world as it is. At that moment, he meets a monk who unzips the sky and walks him and invites him into a parallel reality where he meets the wise one who's the keeper of the mosaic. If people are interested in it from that little preview, I invite you to buy it on Amazon. That's all that I'm going to talk about the mosaic. But it's led me to this point where when I see people walk into this room with me, I very rarely think that the person that I see is who they actually are. The person that I see is they're just the person I see. And that's the whole purpose of this. When you sit down with a stranger and you take the time to just listen to them, we might be surprised by what we actually see when we get ourselves out of the way. So I'm excited to introduce you today to meet somebody along with me. This man in front of me, his name is Adam Morgan. Clearly, he has something going on with opinions and beer. We're going to find out what that is in a moment. But first of all, I want to say, hey, Adam, welcome to the 50 Conversations with 50 Strangers, and thank you for taking your time to be here. How are
Heck yeah,
you?
man. Thanks for inviting me.
It is absolutely a pleasure. Tell us who you are and what's important to you.
Oh, my name's Adam Morgan, and strange. What is important to me? I guess I have never really asked myself that myself. I don't really know what is important to me. I guess family, it would be a traditional thing to say. I guess the idea of success is important to me. And not just my success, but probably the success of other people around me. And I kind of so that success is important to me in in the grand scheme of things, not just because it elevates myself, but because the success of me will help people around me, my family, and just the idea that success can take care of so many people really is what drives me and why it's important.
So you lob over a term that could have so many different meanings. What does success mean to you? What kind of success are you talking about?
Um, I guess being in a place that is uh mentally secure in happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
uh, being in a place where you're not always grinding, and struggling to not necessarily financially, but in the grand scheme of things of making an impact in somebody else's life, whether it be like say like a reader, like someone that reads the Mosaic or something like that. So, you make an impact in somebody's life, uh, I feel like that's a success, having people that listen to you, that, kind of rely on you, and making them happy. Making them happy makes me happy.
Okay. How was that for you to answer? What was that? Shh, after that, that was like a hard thing for you to say or something. What happened?
No, no, I was just.
Clearly, there's something else that's important to you because there aren't that many guys that come on with shades on that are red reflective, a red dye in their hair, an opinion and beers backdrop, a nice full beard. What is this all about? Tell me what this look is all about.
Well, so I came up with this character. I had a well, I met some people previously, and to make them comfortable, ironically enough, because I didn't want them to think they were meeting just some kind of like beer drinking whatever guy. So they're kind of like the weird people, weird oddball type people, and so I wanted to have a get up, and that get up just sort of stuck and has become the character that is that presents opinions in beer.
Okay. And is that character different or the same as Adam Morgan? Are they? Do you ever take the character off and become Adam Morgan?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's definitely it's still the same person. I try. There are times where I try, like there's a there's a voice that I do.
Okay, all right. Look at that. We got it.
This is Adam. So I'm just like
Darn
so I
good
have the voice.
voice.
I can't it's hard for me to stay in character. I'm still developing the the element of staying in character and sticking with a voice and sticking with that element. But it's off and on. I'm saying the character's bipolar. There's an Adam, there's the Adam character, and then there's the me, the opinions and beer dude.
Does Opinions and Beer Dude have a name to him, or is he just the Opinions and Beer Dude?
He's just Adam without a
Okay.
last name.
Okay. All right. Cool. So who am I talking to now? Just so I know, am I talking to Adam or am I talking to the Opinions and Beer Dude?
You're talking to Adam presenting opinions and beer. Adam. You're talking to Adam Morgan presenting the opinions and beer. Adam.
You're complicated, dude. I love that. I love that. Adam, what makes you happy?
I guess creating stuff, being a creator, ideas, being an idealist, having ideas and executing on those ideas, whether it be a project, a new project, and just completing it because there's a lot of people in this area, the area that I live in particularly, we're kind of like low skilled levels as far as like entertainment goes, and no one really completes anything. Everyone has big ideas or even small ideas, and they never really go forward and execute those ideas. And I've always been happy with being the guy that even the small ideas, that small or big, any idea that I set forward, I try to get completed, if even just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Where are you located geographically? Where are you in the world?
Southeast Texas.
Southeast Texas. Wow. Okay. If money weren't important to you, what would you do?
I guess the same. I would still be doing this. I'm not making money.
You're not making money?
I'm not making no money. I would still just be creating stuff, I guess, or writing. I guess I would probably it'd probably be less extravagant and I'd probably be less not motivated, but less crazy with everything. I'd probably go a little smaller and just like maybe just be a writer or something, or just write my thoughts down and whatnot and things like that, and just do whatever. Not work. I would not work. That's what it would be.
Are you working now?
I do have a day job.
What do you do in your day job?
My day job is I work for Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola
Coca-Cola.
company, as a order replenishment merchandiser. It was switches back and forth from RARs to ORMs and whatnot, but But basically, I make orders and I stock the Coke onto grocery store shelves.
You should be the Cherry Coke spokesperson. Now that you say you work for Coke, you look like a Cherry Coke. That would be,
I know,
you,
right?
I think you
I,
should become their spokesperson for Cherry Coke. The character you're creating, I think it'd be cool.
that would be cool. That would be cool.
Hey, I suck at this, but I'm going to try and go into a lightning round with you. I
Okay.
suck at it because I never go fast because I get too interested in what people are saying and I want
I
to know.
suck at it because I go too slow.
Okay,
I
so
take 2 minutes. I take 5 minutes to respond.
so we're good then. We're in the same camp, okay? I think the first couple answers are going to be easy, but it's just to get everybody comfortable. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
A dog person.
Okay. Uh, did I just get like? Did I just get Adam the opinion and beer voice there for a minute?
Yeah, I'm sharing my opinion.
Okay, okay, I'm good. I'm liking that. I got a little bit of the other Adam. Are you a coffee or tea guy?
Ooh, that's a hard one. You're almost going to make me go on a spiel right now because that was a big thing in my past. Because for I had like a moral dilemma over coffee or tea in my past.
Tell me.
I'm gonna say coffee. I'm a coffee guy.
Tell me what the moral dilemma was. You can't lob that over
Well,
without me
because
letting it sit there.
I mean, I built an entire philosophy. There was a whole year where I built a philosophy on coffee people and tea people, and I was hanging around a new group of people, and I was like, and I was kind of asking them like, they all drank tea. I'm like, what do you prefer, coffee or tea? And they drank tea. My old friends all drank coffee, and I was having like a moral dilemma of like who my friends like if I should keep. I was like, I'm not a coffee person. I'm a tea person now. I was like, I was legitimately saying like this kind of crazy shit, this crazy stuff where I was like, because I just felt like this disconnect. I started feeling a disconnect with my coffee drinking friend because we literally would just drink coffee all night long. I was starting to feel a disconnect. I'm like, no, you know what? I actually prefer tea. I'm a tea guy. I like tea. I'm hang out with these guys over here. These guys, they pay for their own lunch. They don't need me to buy their damn meal. They don't
Yeah.
need me. They don't need me for stuff. So I'm gonna be a tea person. So I'd ask people, are you a tea person or a coffee person? And it's like, it kind of changed my life for a while because I started hanging out with a lot of tea people, and it kind of ruined my fucking life for a minute. I don't know if we can cuss. I'm sorry.
You can cuss. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, it ruined my life for a minute. But I switched back to coffee, so I'm gonna say I'm a coffee guy.
Okay. Are you still friends with the tea people or no?
No, we don't really talk anymore. Like
Oh.
they were kind of they weren't as real as friends,
Oh.
despite my old friends being the needy of kind, and I didn't feel like some of them were genuine, but the new friends were very a passing moment.
Oh. So I feel like I have to get my Danny opinion voice. The thoughts expressed on this show right now are not the thoughts of the sponsor of the. No. For those of you who are tea drinkers or coffee drinkers, this is just what Adam's experience has been. It's not across the board thing,
No, just
right?
I felt like there was a personality. I felt like I discovered a correlation between personality differences between people that gravitated towards coffee and people that gravitated towards tea. And my personal personality was shifting in a way where I gravitated more towards the tea people. And that's why I came up with that little philosophy note.
Well, the reason why I was so interested is because initially I thought, I wonder if dog people will be coffee drinkers and cat people will be tea drinkers. But it got blown out of the water within the first like 5 strangers that I talked to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it didn't hold much ground, so I dropped it. Um, would you say you are a person that lives in the box or out of the box?
I'm out of the box.
Okay. Why the hesitation?
I didn't know. I didn't know how to look at the answer. How to look at the question. I didn't know how to look at the question.
Okay.
Like, am I in the box or am I out? I don't know. What's the box look like? Am I a cat in the box? I don't know. Am I alive or dead?
Okay. Um, both of these are important, but I want to know which one of them is more important to you right now in this moment. Is it more important for you to have a chance to speak your voice, to be heard and say the things you want to say? Or is it more important for you to create a platform for other people to be able to speak what they say and be able to, and for you to be someone who listens to them?
I got right now create a platform for other people.
Create a
That's the
platform for
thing
other
to say.
people. Wow. Good. Have you felt in general that you've always fit into the world, or have you always felt you're a little bit different?
I've always felt I was a little bit different.
Yeah. So, so the large majority of people that I ask that question to say the same answer you say.
Yeah, I bet.
And I can't tell if it's because the population of people that I'm drawing from are all that population that believes that way. And I'm trying to expand my population. So when you told me I'm never going to have somebody on the show like you, that you're really different, I loved it because I thought this is great. I want to expand population. Um, but I wonder why, if so many of us feel different, so many of us try to put people in a box where they fit in, where they fit in. When other people are different, so often we try and make them fit into a box so we can understand them. Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Um, I guess to set some sort of standard. Uh, I guess maybe you had to draw a cap somewhere. An ancient civilization had to draw a line in the sand of like what the cap is for oddities, and and normalize things to create a society that went forward in the same direction that everyone was going. Because too much conflict can lead to a delay in society growth, and I think it's just like an ancient thing that we have kept over time, uh, and that is why.
Wow, I love your answer. Do you think different equals conflict?
It can. I
Think it
guess
all
it depends on. I guess there's like a third, like just the emotions. I guess different. Yeah, probably. Yeah, different can lead to conflict. Different
different
leads to
leads to
conflict. In
conflict?
some aspect, in some sort of aspect, you're going to conflict, even if it's something minor, even if it's a minor conflict. I think different does conflict with each other.
It's so interesting because I think for a long time I maybe thought that way. I'm not sure if I really did or not. But now I always felt different. You know, I always felt like I didn't fit in. And it always felt like a saddened part from my life because I knew how to play the game and fit into the world, and I fit in pretty well, and people liked me and would never guess that I didn't fit in. But I never felt like I fit in. And so when the silos started to get built of like-minded communities, at first I thought, wow, this is great. I found other people that are as weird as me, and I loved it. But as those silos started to get bigger and stronger, and the spaces between other silos got wider and deeper, I started to say, this is a trap here that I'm in. I mean, being like other people and being in these like minded communities feels like a trap. As long as I continue to see what everybody else sees in exactly the same way that I see it, I'll never see anything different. And it was at that moment where I went out of the silo and I started to realize, to say to people, I don't see what you see. I see a world that's different than the world you see. That after initially feeling a little bit ostracized, not purposely, but just because there was no box that I fit in, that's when companies started to hire me and bring me into their boardrooms to help them innovate. Because difference in a corporate environment is innovation, and it isn't conflict. It's being able to see the same thing we look at in a different way and allow ourselves to perceive a new reality from that new perception. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
So let me ask you again: Does difference mean conflict to you still all the time?
I guess not. Not really. No. Now that you put it that way, it definitely doesn't. I guess not all the time. No. You may conflict. You may argue over tea or coffee, though.
You may argue over tea and coffee. Okay. All right. Cool. Would you say you operate more from your head or more from your heart?
Oh, head.
Head. And are you a leader or a follower?
I might be a follower pretending to be a leader. I take the role. I take the role. I'll try to take the role of leader.
Tell me what that looks like. What's a follower pretending to be a leader look like?
A follower pretending to be a leader is a follower that leads little followers. So that's what I do. I find the little I find the little groups without direction. I'm like, here, come with me in this direction, but my direction is all these other people's directions.
So, if you were in a silo, would you have the courage to lead outside of the silo of belief systems that you're in, or would you just lead other people who don't understand the silo? Would you say, come into my group and I'll help you understand the silo that we're in and lead within the same silo?
Yeah, I probably lead within the same silo.
Lead within the same silo.
I guess depends on what's out. I guess depends on how the silo is treating me. How the silo's treating me, or whether or not I leave. I'm kind of on that aspect. I kind of and have more of a like a I'm like an anarchy leader. I'm a I'll follow the leaders until they make me mad, and then nope, I'm the leader now. Goodbye. Goodbye.
And what gives you the courage to stand up and become the leader when the anarchists, what gives you the courage to be an anarchist and stand up when you get mad and not follow the leader? Because so many people in the world today still follow leaders even though they make them mad.
Well, uh, well, I do. I probably do give uh chances. I kind of like. I probably do. I do have a bad habit of explaining away poor leadership, perhaps, whether it be at a job or at a bigger scale level.
Yeah.
However, I'm not against criticizing and saying no. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what is right and not do what you say. I'm going to say, hey, don't do it like that. Do it like this. Um, uh, I guess just uh, I'm against. I hate super unintelligent. Like I'm not. I don't claim to be a smart person, but if you're doing things that are super not smart, then I just it's not really. It's not really. I can't think of the word. Is I can't think of the word at all. I went
Okay.
blank on that word.
But you don't want to waste your
Courage. It's
time.
not the courage. It's not really courage. That's what it is. It's not really courage. It's just fed upness.
I got you. I got you. So let's take a look at, we could look anywhere in the world at leadership and we could see pretty much the same thing in my mind. We could look in healthcare, we could look in science, we could look in um, social interactions, we could look in relationships, we could look in a lot of places. But the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest one to look at right now is politics in America. And I'm not asking what side of the fence you're on, nor do I care really, because I believe both sides have good points of view. But what I don't see is we elect people to be our leaders, to lead our country, our state, our government, our cities. And what I don't see right now is within the silos that exist of whether it's pro-Trump or anti-Trump. It's the easiest thing to say because it's no longer even just Democrat or Republican. It's pro-Trump or anti-Trump. I don't see many people within either camp standing up to the silo and saying, "Hold it, give the guy a chance." Like Democrats or anti-Trump people, they can't even think of one good thing Trump has done, and he's done some good things. But every time he walks around the corner, they swing a bat at him, and he gets hit with a bat, right? And it's like they don't give the dog a bone. They don't give him any chance to have anything to ride and be proud of. Pro-Trumpers, I never thought I would see the day where a president would say I could walk down Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and you would still love me. You wouldn't leave me. They don't have the courage to leave the alliance of the pro-Trump camp. And even though he's doing some things that are really terrible, they don't stand up and say, "Boy, this part you're doing is great. This part really sucks. We got to look at this part and change it around." What do you think of that?
Um,
And I'm not asking you political sides. I'm asking you just of the theory in general.
the theory. Yeah, I don't know. I think it comes down to kind of like a tribalism state where you pick your side, and even if they flip flop on their beliefs, you flip flop with your beliefs. You flip flop as well. You just continue right along. It's just a tribalism thing. I feel like it's like, oh, I fit in with this group initially, and so whatever that group thinks or goes along with is what I'm going to promote and can promote. And whether it's right or wrong, I'm going to agree with this side. And it just comes down to just early forms of of tribalism. that must still be just ingrained in our DNA, that it's just never escaped from caveman days.
Yeah. And so do you think that's a good way to live life?
I guess for somebody, obviously there's someone's going to, there's probably a lot of people that benefit from tribalism and groups, especially if you're in the middle of the group. I guess the people that are on the edges don't necessarily benefit from it because they're on the edges. But I feel like for the most part it works, but it does not work for everybody. And so that's probably an issue.
Is that the world you want to hand over to your kids if you ever have kids?
I have 2 children.
You do have 2 children. Okay.
I have 2 children, 2 sons.
Is that the world you look forward to handing over to your sons?
I guess not necessarily. Not necessarily. I guess I haven't really. I guess I don't really put too much. I put a little bit. I put more of my thoughts into conspiracies and stuff than I do real world things for me to be concerned with. Like I put my concern in 20 years down the line when aliens attack us. Now,
okay,
not when the tribalism party lines, but I guess I haven't really thought about it too deeply to have an answer for you.
I understand. What if aliens were to come and they weren't to attack us
and just hang out?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
What if they're already here?
They might be. I believe that aliens are actually multi-dimensional beings. They're most likely demons. I think they're demons, fallen angels. I think fallen angels are actually aliens, and or vice versa.
So hold it. You actually believe that if you're from a different planet and you come and visit our planet, you're a fallen angel?
You might be. Or they might be here already. They might be in an alternate space, and they might be a multi-dimensional being that live on Earth, and they're not necessarily an outer worldly being. And I think all the Egyptian and Greek statues and gods were real, and I don't think that they were. I think they were fallen angels. I don't think they were gods. I think they were fallen angels disguised as gods, And yeah.
So I want to just swing back to where our conversation sort of began,
Okay.
which was around this idea that different means conflict. And I want to ask you, because it seems like in a lot of what you believe, that foundation thought appears. Like aliens are different, therefore they are bad, therefore I have to fight them, because when they appear they'll come here to try and take over the planet. Do you see that?
I am seeing that. Yes. I see what you're saying.
And could it be that this slight shift that we have of even the small possibility, the difference is innovation, the difference is creativity, the difference is a new way of seeing a world that we never saw before, which might just make something that was impossible for us when we saw the world this way suddenly possible because now we see it a different way?
Yeah. Yes.
It's interesting because it's so much follows. It's fascinating to me. I love having this conversation with you because you're right. It is not like any other one that I've had, and I love that. Um, do you believe that, like you said, you wanted to create a place where people could speak and be heard? That you
Right.
like that idea of doing that, creating that format for them. Do you think human beings are the only thing that speaks? Do you think the environment is speaking to us? Do you think the planet is speaking to us? Do you think our workplace speaks to us? Do you think our bodies speak to us?
Oh yeah, I think everything has its way of communicating. I'm sure that we've either lost communication with the ability to understand what we're being told. That just comes with the nature of advancing in our own technology and losing natural abilities uh, to fundamentally hear and know what's going on. I'm sure your body. I mean, they say that you can just look at your nails and see if you have heart conditions, stuff like
Yeah,
that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I'm sure, yeah, there's things that we should know that we just casually don't know. And that's because there's just so much new things to learn on a
yeah.
daily basis that we don't even know the fundamental basics. So I think things are constantly speaking to us. And
So when you look at the world we're living in, I mean, we just a few years ago we had a Me Too movement that looked at the way men treat women, and hopefully looked at the way women look towards men with power. I get in trouble when I say that sometimes, but I think it's important for everybody to take some responsibility for the way they show up in the world. Um, when you look at COVID-19, when you look at this pandemic that's going around the world, the planet, and putting pause on everything, when you look at the race protests that are happening now in the streets of not only America, but around the world, when you look at the way the clergy are being called on the carpet for the way they abuse children, some of them, um, it feels like there's a lot of stuff that's out of whack. What do you think the world's trying to say to us, or if you feel like it's trying to say anything to us?
well, um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what it's trying to say to us. If anything, it just feels a lot like a repetition of history. I mean, if you look back at Rome and just the fall of Rome, you see a lot of the things happening today happened then. Um, so I'm not sure it's really saying anything. I think it just says something about human nature has a habit of repeating itself, and maybe it's saying there needs to be a fix. I'm not sure it says anything directly. It just you can process of elimination. You can see that there's a problem within the psychological nature of humans, and it's being exposed more so now. I think thankfully technology helps expose this psychological error that humans have, and hopefully we can use that to go forward and hopefully not have history repeat itself constantly.
Yeah.
But you really don't know. You really don't know what's going to happen. And maybe the people just adapt. I think people are also good at adapting. So the bad people they adapt and they keep on doing what they're doing. So I don't know if it says anything.
All right. Do you think it has a personal message for you? Do you think when you look at the world out there and you see it, it makes you, it's trying to say something to you personally?
Just to I guess maybe watch out, learn. I felt like it was telling me to learn. I most recently I've just started diving into a lot of what I'm saying right now. I've learned within the last 4 months, just diving into history, ancient history, just diving into American history, and so I think it's telling me to learn from your past mistakes. That's what the world is telling me. Learn from your past mistakes so you can adapt and change for the better.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating that you bring back on the Roman Empire and showcase the fact that a lot of what we're going through there now is what they went through there. And I bet most people have no idea what the Roman Empire went through if you
Oh
would
yeah.
ask them.
I know, right? I think because we're going through capitalism right now, and capitalism is an advanced form of feudalism, which feudalism was only implemented because socialism basically crumbled the Roman Empire, and to try to save it, Constantine imposed feudalism. But by that time, the markets were already corrupted to the point where there was no saving it financially, and they basically fell.
If you had 2 minutes to share something with the world that you felt was important for it to know, what would you say?
Uh, Important to share with the world. I guess uh, give people a chance. Give people a chance. Don't be mean. Don't be jerks. What 2 minutes to tell the world something? I mean, uh, listen, listen to people. Uh, don't criticize people. Don't call people crazy. Don't use calling people crazy as a dismissive term. It's the easiest thing you can do. And just learn from your past mistakes. That's my
I
that's a
love it.
quick thing. I don't have nothing. I don't have
I,
much to say.
well, when you say it succinctly, you don't need to say it a lot.
Yeah.
What you said, if people would just listen to what you said, it would be, I think we would live in a better world. Um, Mr. Adam Morgan, if people want to get in touch with you or they want to know more about whatever Opinions in Beer is, what is Opinions in Beer, by the way?
Opinions and Beer is a podcast that I do. I share opinions and well, I it's kind of like a radio style podcast where we've kind of built it around being something you might hear on Sirius XM or something, with the inclusion of a beer review in every episode. So we
Cool.
review a beer, and then we have casual chats and fun stuff and sing and all kinds of goofy goofy dynamics. Interviews, we do plenty of interviews and let people talk. It's also Opinions and Beer Network. I'm helping a lot of people start their own shows, like from genealogy shows to conspiracy shows, to just talking comic books and whatnot. Yeah, so that's what Opinions
So
and
I
Beer
got to
is.
ask you, because you're a beer guy, have you ever drank Chimay?
Yes, Chimay Grand Reserve. We had that on our 100th. We reviewed it on our 100th episode. I got into craft beer because my father was into a big craft beer scene. We were friends with all the local breweries that got big or whatever and shut down. But the first beer I ever drank was homemade Chimay. So
Homemade Chimay. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Do you like it? Do you like Chimay?
Oh yeah, yeah. Solid Belgian. I love a good Belgian ale.
Yeah. It's my favorite beer. Um, I want to thank you, Adam, for taking your time and being with us. I want to ask people to check out your podcast, Opinions in Beer. I want to ask you if you'll send me a headshot so that I can put it on the cover of the episode. And if you'll send me links to all of your social media and your website, so I can post that in the show notes. And if you can do that soon, these go out pretty quick.
Okay.
So I want to get it out. For those of you who listen to the show um, regularly, or if this is your first time listening, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to what happens when two strangers come into a room together. And stranger things have happened than for strangers to meet strangers and for other strangers to watch it. And for other people who are strangers to want to meet the strangers that these two strangers have met. Have I lost you yet? But, the idea being that the world is full of strangers until someone offers the platform for someone to come into their space and just share with them who they are. And what would happen if we all took a few minutes out of the course of our life? A few minutes out of the course of a lifetime is not a lot. To find someone that you don't know, either in real life or online, and just hold the space for them to say, I just would like to get to know you. I would like to know who you are. We don't try and fix them. We don't try and change them. We don't try and make them different. We don't try and correct them. We don't try and say what they believe is wrong or right. We just hold the space and listen to them. What I found in my life that has taken me to the richest people in the world, to their dining rooms and their living rooms. I've met their children and their parents. I've also met some of the poorest people in the world. I've sat on street corners on cardboard boxes that were barely together. And what I found is that in each situation, no matter who they were, no matter if they lived in a beautiful home or just barely on a cardboard box, if they were white or black or whatever color they were, if they were from this border or that border, it didn't matter what religion they practiced, it didn't matter what they said they believed. Every single one of them at the end of the day wanted these three things. They wanted to be loved and accepted. They wanted to be listened to and heard. They wanted to be acknowledged and validated. Not one person in my 65 years of life has said to me, Danny, it's important you agree with us. We want you to agree with us. Not ever. Because when people feel loved and accepted and listened to and heard and acknowledged and validated, they know that you have the right to believe whatever you believe. And some of my friends have the most wild belief systems you could ever imagine. I would never believe what they believe in those beliefs, but I would take a bullet for them because I love them for a number of other reasons. My mom always told me, don't talk to strangers. Sorry, Mom, I don't see any strangers in the world that I live in because I invite people into my room as friends. What would happen if more of us did that? This is a challenge to all of you who listen. Find one person that you don't know and have a conversation. Find one person that you think you do know and just listen to them. Maybe you don't know them as well as you think. Find one person that looks like my brother Adam here and hold back your initial judgment of, oh, he's cool, or oh, what the hell's going wrong with that guy, or whatever. And just sit and just allow the man to be himself in front of you and see what happens. Adam, before we go, is there anything else that I didn't ask you that you wanted to say?
Um, I guess not really. No, I've been to the nut house. That's it. I'm a crazy person, so I've been to the nut house. That was something random stuff. That's about it.
Okay. All right, brother. Well, I thank you for taking the time to be here with us. Again, listeners, I thank you for taking the time. Share it with a friend if you like it. This is one of those enjoyably crazy conversations that I won't forget for a while. So I love them. Um, until next episode, let's see who can find a stranger first, you or me. Stranger
Okay.
things have happened. Okay, take care. Thanks for coming. Until
Thanks.
next one, don't be a stranger. Ciao.